the most powerful designer drugs are the digital ones we use daily. And we get high off them. One touch, tap, like, scroll at a time. Just like tech creators want us to. Use digital without digital using you. Learn more at sync.ithra.com.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hey there, and welcome back to This Song Is Yours. I'm Simon Fink, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for episode 313. Today we're sitting down with the extremely talented alt-pop songwriter Daniel Leggs. Based in the bustling city, which is known as New York, Daniel's musical journey is an intriguing one. Formerly a concert pianist, he shifted his prowess towards crafting his own enchanting melodies. Daniel's musical style beautifully echoes the traditions of classic pop, reminiscent of the legendary Billy Joel or Elton John. His recent release, the triple A-side single At the End of the World, has garnered attention and appreciation and showcases his knack for creating captivating narratives through music. Not to just stop there, Daniel has also treated his fans to a delightful Christmas EP this month as well. In today's episode, we're honoured to sit down with Daniel to explore his early beginnings in music, his journey as a pianist, and the transition towards writing and composing his own captivating tunes. We'll unravel the inspiration behind his latest single, diving deep into the concept that brought the track to life. And of course, we'll get a sneak peek into Daniel's potential tour plans for next year. This episode promises a delightful immersion into the soul of Daniel Leggs' music, and we want to say a massive thank you to Olivia from Atlantic Records for her help with today's episode. Before we delve into this enriching conversation, please ensure you're subscribed to This Song Is Yours on your preferred podcast platform and stay updated on our latest episodes by following us across our social media. All the details are available in the show notes for today's episode. So let's not wait any further. Here is our conversation with Daniel Leggs.
If a comet strikes tonight and the whole world is on fire at the final stand, would there be a chance?
Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Daniel Leggs. Daniel, hello. How are you going?
Hello. Good, thank you, Simon. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it. As you and I were talking about before we started recording, it is very early where you are, so I appreciate you getting up early for us.
Of course, always. I appreciate you having me. I was just saying, whenever I wake up early, I'm like, I have like a good jump start on the day. But when there's no reason to wake up, it's kind of like, maybe scroll on TikTok a little bit, get out of bed, make some coffee, a little bagel. So this got me up.
Look, I've recently come around to the getting up early kind of train. I've found I can get like about most of my emails done for the day if I get up an extra hour early, schedule send them, and then I feel great. So I can very much kind of recognise that.
Definitely.
That kind of work ethic.
What time is that, if you don't mind my asking?
Not at all. It's usually, my alarm is set for 5 a.m. So I usually get up at 5.
Okay.
Do emails 5:30 to 6:30, and then go to my regular job.
Okay, well that's early. This is not early. It's 7:30 for me.
Look, it's still.
This is like school.
But it's still very much appreciated. So thank you so much. I feel very lucky to be talking to you today because I know that there is quite a bit going on with you actually at the moment. There's a brand new single that came out only recently, At the End of the World, which is a triple A side.
Yes, yeah, I'm super excited about it. That was At the End of the World, super good song. I think I'm super proud of that one. That was kind of a ballad originally that I kind of just added a beat to and had some fun with. And then we had two other songs, High School Love and 2050, that sounded, for whatever reason, I didn't do it on purpose, they kind of just like sounded like a similar world. So we were like, cool, let's release them all together. I think it worked out well.
I think they all do work very well together. I kind of love this song. I feel like that you've been continuing to release music throughout the year. I feel that this is just kind of I almost want to say like a continuous flow of songs for you. It seems that there's been singles, EPs, I think earlier in the year. I think there was a Christmas EP as well this month, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You're a busy man.
I have lots more coming too. I think it's like been super fun to like release it all in like not too far after I make it. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to see like the progression. I think like I still have a long ways to go in terms of the sound I want to create, but I think it's just been fun for me to like look back. Like I was just listening back to my own songs because I try not to listen to them too much, you know. But and just seeing like the progression of like the sound, and I think it all makes sense, which is fun. And then the Christmas one, I have a cover on there, Linus and Lucy. Do you remember Charlie Brown Christmas?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Peanut song, which I learned, which is one of the first like real piano songs I ever learned. I remember being at my parents' house on their piano, my grandma's piano that she gave us, and playing that and like learning that like line for line, because it's actually not that easy of a song. I was like 12, and then I hadn't played it since then, and I was like, so that was super fun to make.
I'm so curious, for anyone who's listening to the podcast who's not aware, your introduction to music, from my understanding, and so please correct me if I'm wrong, was that you started as like a piano, like a concert pianist, and that kind of led you into the world of songwriting. Definitely,
yeah. That was my piano teacher, Mr. G. Shout out. He was awesome. Yes, he was like a 86-year-old man, the best guy, and he would just come over and teach us piano. We did a lot of like jazz stuff at first. It was all old music, which I think helped a lot too, because that was a little more, I don't know, complicated. I feel like I was always like, oh, I want to play Coldplay. I want to play Coldplay. I want to play Ed Sheeran. I would like get to sheet music and he'd be like, no, waltz. But so then I quit because I didn't really like it that much. But then I picked it back up. I think I quit when I was like 13, 14 and picked it back up when I started songwriting. I started thinking of songs. I was like, oh, maybe I should start playing the piano again. So yeah, but it all full circle. So
of course, do you remember, I guess, what that point was that made you think, yeah, I can write my own songs, like I've got something that I want to say, or that I guess drew you back?
I think I don't know exactly, but I do remember. I remember being in high school and like spacing out. I always space out in class, and then like I started writing songs like in class when we had our because we were able to have our laptops out. Like I was at the turning point where they were like, all right, yeah, laptops are allowed, and then they were like, laptops are necessary, and I was like, cool. So then I would just like, I remember I started writing a lot of lyrics, and a lot of them didn't even really make any sense. I just started thinking of things like phrases almost, and then I would go back to the piano and kind of just like try and make a melody over whatever I played. And then over time, it just started to make a little more sense. But I mean, like I remember one of the first lyrics I came up with was like, it was like the painting. It was like the painting on the wall, or like it was weird. But painting on the wall makes sense. But I forget what it was.
Look, we've spoken to quite a lot of songwriters on this podcast in relation to like their first attempts at songwriting and how it kind of worked, and you would not be alone in having that first or even second song kind of being something that you might look back on now and be like, oh well, I've grown and I've evolved and done more.
Yeah. My first recorded, I didn't remember this. I remember this a couple weeks ago. I was talking to my mom, and I got grounded in high school, so I downloaded Ableton. Mm-hmm. I had like the free version. I was grounded for 2 months because I had a little party at my parents' house when they were away. Nice. And I broke their lamp. Someone broke their lamp. I didn't. Someone was trying to wear it as a hat, and I made a song called "The Lamp" that was like all about. I was like comparing the broken lamp to my heart. No one's allowed to hear that, but yeah.
I absolutely love that. It's super interesting only because someone who's getting grounded, someone who's, as you kind of said, that you took a break from it because you weren't interested in it. It's not the kind of music I would expect from a character that you're describing, only because some of these songs are really beautiful, piano-driven, I want to say like classic pop kind of songs or traditional pop in a way. Do you think that kind of came from those, maybe from those initial lessons, like learning the waltz, not learning Ed Sheeran and Coldplay?
Yes. I honestly, yes, definitely. I had never thought of it that way, but 100%. Because I love like I don't know, I was just talking to someone the other day. We have a new playlist of like Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald songs, and how great that is. Elvis, like just the like really old school piano or otherwise songs. And I don't know, I've always loved that, and I think it's because like I did have to learn that. And like Billy Joel was like later, we didn't learn. We moved on to Billy Joel. We did, actually. The Stranger. So yeah, I think you're I'm having an epiphany right now. I'm like,
Well, it kind of seems like there does seem to be a lot of love, a lot of popularity.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions. And the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
Towards songs that are kind of almost written in a classic songwriting nature, I want to say that your songs, I know that obviously in the last, let's say, 12 to 18 months, Steven Sanchez and Leve, artists who have had success with kind of like your classic songwriting, seems to be coming back.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love as someone who studied music at, in high school and uni and was the only thing I kind of showed up for. It is nice to see that kind of coming back around.
Definitely, 100%. I'm glad. I think so too. That's like always been Elton John.
Yeah.
I would say like Elton John, Billy Joel are my 2 favorites. But yeah, I think that like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like the nostalgia, because I feel like all those songs are so like that's like more pure because it was like closer to when like music wasn't even like recorded until I don't know when, like it was just like a performative thing. And then now that it's recorded, you can like, oh my God, the world is your oyster when you're on the computer and you're making a song.
100%.
So simplicity.
What in terms of that, like what does the usual songwriting method look like for yourself? Like, are you someone who will I know we've spoken to so many people who have like a notes app that has like so many half-written lines or songs, or do melodies come first? What's the usual kind of method for yourself?
Usually it's been a melody and then like a couple words here and there when I'm doing something else. Like I'll be like on the subway, I'm in New York, I'll be on the subway and I'm like and then that's like the voice memo and notes app. And that's definitely like when I have something that I really like. When I have a song that I end up liking, that's how it starts. But I think like the last like 6 months, I've been really trying to make a lot more music. So I'll be like in my room or the studio, like, oh, I need to make a song today. I need to make a song. And then I need to make a song that I think people will like. And then I end up making a song that I don't usually like. And I found like, if I'm having trouble writing a song, like go get a coffee, like go to the park, like go go do something to take your mind off it almost, so that it'll just like come.
It's organic.
And that's why I like writing. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm sure there's like a science behind it, but
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were about to say it's why you like writing.
With other people now. I've started writing more with other people because then it's like a conversation more, and it's like a play date, you know? You're just like meeting someone and talking to them, and then the song comes from your conversation versus the song coming from like, oh, I want to make a song right now.
Yeah, 100%. Is there something that you look for in particular with like songwriters or collaborators that you know like you work best with?
I think like someone taking like the music seriously, but like, I don't know, like I'm a goofy guy who like I'll open up while songwriting immediately. Like I don't care about what people think about, like if I'm like, oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend or something, whatever, like, oh yeah, I'm so socially awkward, which I am, you know what I mean? Like I'll just like, so I think someone who's like super open and like able to take themselves a little less seriously, you know, a little less seriously too, because you know we're all going through the same stuff.
Oh, 100%. I think humor always helps in terms of lightening the mood and also just kind of breaking the ice. So I think I can very much empathize with those.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are you able to, I guess, walk us through At the End of the World? As I mentioned, it is the most recent single. Can you talk us through what, I guess, inspired that and what, I guess, what was the creation behind that like?
Definitely. I had just been talking to someone about how when you're on the subway, you kind of like, there's something weird about, or a train or a plane, when you see someone and you like make eye contact with a stranger that like you're maybe a little interested in. It's like, for whatever reason, when you're traveling, it's just like magical. Like it feels like you're in a movie almost. It's like, oh my god, this is it. And you see like your whole life together. You're like, oh my god, 3 kids, house, like, oh my and like I'm like, we were talking about, you never end up actually doing anything in that situation. Like you're kind of, it's just, you wouldn't ever, you know. And I think like my thought from At the End of the World was, if there were a comet like headed right there, would I go over and be like, hey, I'm Daniel, you know? Like would it, if it were like the apocalypse, would I like actually come out of my comfort zone and be able to like talk to people more that I had interest in talking to? And the dance thing came from, that was, I was always like in middle school, high school, even like now, if I'm like at a wedding, I'm like, if I want to dance with someone, I'm like, do you want to dance? Like I have a hard time asking someone to dance. So I was like, would you, it's just kind of like that line where it drops, I guess, where in the chorus it's would you save this dance for me if it's our last chance? So it's like, if a comet's coming, that's like me finally being like, I want to dance.
I love that though. I think that's why the song is connecting with people. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, for allowing me to ask.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
No, of course. I would like to know, because I know that I believe we are in November, we are heading into the American winter, which for yourselves, I imagine it is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's a lot of touring over the end of November or December just due to weather and everything else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it seems like everything kind of
closes down.
Takes a little break. Yeah, which is nice.
In terms of shows in support of this new single, actually, I know that we kind of talked about it right at the top. You have been releasing singles throughout the year. How do you decide when to tour? Because I feel like some bands usually have it behind a big release. For yourself, how do you plot out a tour? Or is it just kind of when you want to get shows organised and play shows, you'll kind of, I guess, do that? Definitely.
I'm personally really new to the like live show scene, which has been funny. We were talking about it. Everything's been online, so it's like, it's been like really interesting. But I just played a show for like right November 10th, so right after. So I've been trying to. I'm like looking for my next gig now, but yeah, just trying to run around New York and play as many shows as possible. But yeah, the last one was super fun. At the End of the World, I will say, I'm not like just saying this, that was the best. We saved that for last because it ended up being it played the best out of any of my songs. It was like, it felt like a Queen song almost. I don't know why, because I had Ellie on guitar and he had like the nice like riff at the end. I was like, maybe we should re-record this. Like, it's like in the bedroom pop world, maybe bring it into like the band world. I don't know.
That's incredible. How did the rest of the show go?
It was definitely the most, I walked off, I was like, that was the most fun I've ever had in my whole entire life, because it was just, I don't know what it was about it. It was so fun. I feel like I'm finally starting to turn like nervousness into excitement,
I can very much appreciate that. Sometimes when you're writing music and it is in a digital space and then getting up to perform it, it seems like a whole other beast in a way, I think. So I can very much appreciate what you just said then.
It is.
It might seem like a bit of a silly question, because I know that you are, as you said, you're just kind of still looking at future dates for next year. I might be looking too forward. Us here in Australia, can we maybe expect, maybe end of next year, a visit down to Australia in support of some of your music?
Yeah. I mean, I want to travel, so, and you're giving me a perfect excuse, so yes. I've never been to Australia too, so that would be great.
We'll have a chat with the people that put us together today and we'll try and get some stuff organised.
Awesome. That'd be so fun.
Daniel, we would usually ask, I guess, what they're currently listening to. At the moment, is there anything that's kind of on high rotation for yourself?
I think I've been listening to like Dream a Little Dream of Me by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, April in Paris by Billie Holiday, a lot of the older stuff, My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Classic, absolute classic.
Yeah.
How do you consume your music? Are you a combination of like streaming and physical, like the physical medium? I know you can probably see there are some vinyls behind me. Yeah. Like, how do you consume your music?
Do you listen to vinyls a lot? Like,
I'll do a
mostly?
combination. I feel like that I like to, if I really like something that I stream, I feel like the best way to do it is then to support and buy the record as well.
That's awesome. That's a really good process to have. I do have vinyls, but they're mostly like older. They're like my parents, so they just keep like every Christmas they'll be like, oh, we found more. Which is fun. I like listening on, obviously it's like the best, but yeah, definitely Spotify mostly. I think Spotify, I get like a little obsessive about songs. I think a lot of people do. Like when you like listen to you find like two songs and then you're just like kind of like cue them against each other for like 2 hours. So if I go into, there's this, I'm not usually a big fan of house music, but I forget the artist. It's called Money on the Dash. I just saw it. It's like a new song and it's like really good. Like there's something about it, the songwriting, the melody is like so good, and I've been listening to that. So I'm just like, full disclaimer, if I start coming out with like house dance music, just know that it's me.
But I think that's awesome in terms of, I know you just said like Ella Fitzgerald and then that as like a bit of like a balancer. They're like, it's covering a lot of ground.
It could be cool. It could be cool. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. Daniel, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast today. I do appreciate it. And congrats on the most recent single, At the End of the World. All the details for people to listen to your music will be in today's show notes, but thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Never sleep hot again with Bowl and Branch's best-selling naturally cooling sheets. They feel super crisp and cool to the touch and are expertly designed for enhanced breathability so you don't overheat at night. Start getting your best night's sleep this summer with cooling sheets made with the highest quality materials. Try Bowl and Branch with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. Plus, get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.